Hello everybody, welcome to how to speedrun FF7 PC Any percent with the new route. My name is Basutai, or Bus, if you don't know who I am. The goal of this video is actually that it goes on YouTube, so if you're watching on YouTube, I succeeded. And if not, and you're watching this from a private link, then oh well. Okay, so we're gonna hop right into the game. There's a couple things you'll need to have to get started. If you're going to run this game in 30 frames, which is the most competitive category on the boards right now, you'll need a program called DxTory. And you'll also need the FF7 FPS set program, in which it locks your frame. The DxTory will put the thing on the screen that tells you what your frames are, and the FPS set locks your frames at 30 frames per second. We're not running that for the sake of this tutorial, but all of those things can be found on speedrun.com, and I'll put a link to the description, link to that in the description again if this makes it to YouTube. There's a couple of things that we will be talking about and doing, and I'll do my best to explain them as we go. I'll also link some other videos that have better explanations than mine. This is going to be a very basic tutorial of the route, not necessarily all the pro strats. You'll also need IGT times, in-game timer timetables. You'll need those for two things. You can find those also on speedrun.com. Those we'll use to manipulate later on in the run. The Chocobo encounter and the counter we need to get to the debug room. With all that said, let's do this, shall we? I'm not going to run a timer. We're just going to go. So we start off with a 2-minute cutscene. This is a great time to sort of talk about some things we'll be doing. I'll use some verbiage like paralysis dodges and things like that. And there's going to be some skips and some glitches that, again, I'll link videos on how to do. I'm not going to go in depth on how to do them. There's also some skips that we do that I won't do in this tutorial. Again, this is to be a beginner's guide. So bear with me and we'll get going. So you can't skip this cutscene, obviously, but also very important to tell you, your splits are not required to submit a valid run. However, they are very beneficial to the leaderboard mods, so they have an idea of the time, and obviously you'll need to know the time when you submit it. There's no IGT timer when you beat the game. Time starts as you press new game, and time will end on the final damage on Sephiroth. Currently the boards are split. On PC they're split pretty heavily. We have system clock manip, SCM. That's when you set your system clock to be a certain seed, RNG seed. There's no system clock manip, which is what this is, and then there's turbo and not turbo. Non-turbo, you're mashing, like this, like the whole time. And I have this controller set up to have a turbo macro on the trigger. For the sake of my fingers and this tutorial, we will be running it on a turbo. So when the game starts, you get this, so now we're 2 minutes in. You get this little cutscene where everyone jumps off the train, and they're gonna beat these two guards here. And the first thing we want to do is we want to open the menu. So we're gonna open the menu. We're just gonna mash circle here to get through the first dialog box. Barrett's gonna run away, and it's gonna take a second to open the menu. You're gonna go to config. You're going to make the cursor be memory, ATB active, and then all of these be fastest. Battle speed, battle message, and field message should all be fastest. Camera angle I run on fixed. You don't have to run it on fixed. It's helpful so that, like, in a battle, the camera doesn't sway. It makes your targeting consistent. So, like, if you're inputting a command while someone else is doing something, then the camera's not, like, off the bad guy, if that makes sense. So now you've done that, you run up to this guard here. And you're going to grab 2 potions, so circle twice, and then you're going to run into this 2 encounters. It's really easy. You just hold circle or confirm. You're looking for good ATB, which is the green bar, so we get first turn now. That's actually really good. So that's actually pretty good RNG there. Now in this fight, after this fight, you want us to look and see if you get a potion. We didn't get one, so that means we'll have to pick one up later. Run into here. And now if you're doing avalanche skip, you'd set it up here, but we're not. So hold, try and hug that wall as best as you can. There's an important thing here is steps. On certain screens, steps are live. If steps are live, that means you can get a random encounter. If steps are not live, you can run around forever and not get an encounter. So we need to set up a specific step route formation and everything starting at the beginning of the game. So steps are live on this screen, so that's why you want to hug that as best as you can. You'll see why later. Naming, reduce to one letter and select. And then just mash through all this dialogue. So I'll tell you when steps are live and when steps are not live. There are some tricky step points in this. Again, if you lose steps, it doesn't kill the run at all. But it does prevent you from doing certain time-saving strategies. This next screen will also be live steps. So what I do is I run diagonal, and then here I go up, then across, then up, and then in. Okay, now this screen steps are also live. Now you can skip that battle right there. And to skip that battle right there, you're gonna open the menu on the exact same frame that the encounter happens. It takes some practice, that's why we didn't bother with it. Again, not the end of the world. Up right here into Barrett. You don't have to hit circle, he'll just automatically talk to you. And now we're gonna talk to, he's gonna join the party. And we talk to Biggs. And then we talk to Jesse. Steps are not live on the screen on the way in, they are live on the way out. But you do still want to keep your movement tight. Alright, elevator steps are not live here either. If you mash fast enough here, you can get what's called fast elevator. The elevator is going up and down, up and down. If you mash fast enough, you'll actually trigger the transition when the elevator is at the bottom of the screen. If not, it comes back up and goes down. It saves you about 4 seconds. If you're doing avalanche skip or naming skip, very unlikely that you get it. See right there, it did it when we were down, so going up and back down again. Here, if you run, you can run straight out. Now here, steps alive again. So just, it's a tap down into down left. Like that, and then down here, and now you want to cut under here. And then around and down. The encounter should be right there. That's how you know you're on steps. If it's further up, your steps are off, or you did naming skip. If you did naming skip, you'll get that encounter. You'll get this encounter on the on about the fifth step up through the door. Talk to Jesse and grab the ladder. I like to turn on the helper here. And now we're gonna go down here, ignore the potion for now, and down here. So by the way, we're running all the time unless I specifically say that we're not. So we get another encounter right here. And also you'll be running away the whole time from all these encounters. And then you can actually go over here to hit change. That buffers a move so you can get a faster runaway. Come down this ladder, and at the bottom of this ladder, we are going to hold down and right, and we're going to walk for 8.5 steps. So a way a step is measured is by the heel of Cloud. I'll count it as we go, and you kind of see what I mean. So once we get to the bottom, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a little bit. So there's 8.5 to 9 steps, and then you just add run to your movement. Pick up the restore materia, and then mash through this dialogue here. We get Guard Scorpion, the first boss. So with this new route, we actually want Cloud and Barrett to be as close to dead as possible, leaving this encounter. So Cloud is going to bolt, Barrett's going to attack. That's the only move he has anyway. So you just hold circle for Barrett, and then with Cloud, go down to bolt, and it's selected. Cloud can do anywhere from 82, 84, up to 96 damage. So you obviously want high rolls. So we'll see what we get here. 88's pretty bad, so. So we actually want Cloud to leave this encounter with a limit. So we can actually put a limit in. 86 is still bad. We can put a limit in. In optimal strategy, you want whoever Guard Scorpion targets, you want him to go first. So because the limit break takes priority of any other input. Oops, I attacked with Cloud because I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so we need Cloud to leave here with a limit. So unfortunately for us, the tail's going up. Once the tail goes up, you'll attack one time or two. You have to have Cloud be alive for this, which is unfortunate he didn't attack Barrett. Because I won't be able to do tail laser to 73 to 75 damage. 77. So obviously I can't. So I'm holding Barrett's input here without putting the thing in because I want to do the limit buffer here. So we put the attack in when the tail goes down, and now we put Big Shot in. So that's going to make Barrett have a third turn, or a second turn, third for our party before Guard Scorpion gets an attack. So who's he searching? If it's Cloud, we're in good shape. Of course. Alright, so Cloud doesn't have a limit, so now we're going to need to farm one. Okay, so Guard Scorpion's dead now. And just mash through this. Alright, steps are not live on the screen. But we have 10 minutes to get out. So here you're gonna just hold up and run. Oh, no, you're not. That's a lie. Sorry, it's up, left. Whatever, we're gonna save here. Save on this one on slot 2. Save one, slot 2. Okay, then we're gonna use that later. So now we get to the ladder. Gonna be very careful on the way back with our movement here. It'll take some time to get through the reactor optimally. You can also grab ladders from far away. That saves you some steps because the automatic running doesn't count as a step. Also here, you can talk to Jesse from kind of far away as well. If you're worried about being behind on steps, always a good idea. This ladder can be a bit of a troll. Grab it earlier than you think. If you go right to the bottom of it, you won't grab it. Okay. So this is why steps matter. Once we get across the jump and we're here, we need to walk up and down until we get an encounter. This is a forced encounter, and we're going to use this later. Now, we can't run away until Cloud gets a limit, which should be now. Or not. We can take this time to actually attack Barrett. Oh, we don't need to, because we already saved. Never mind. Ignore me, I'm an idiot. Just pent-up aggression at this point. So this is why you want to leave Guard Scorpion with a limit. There you go. Ding. Alright. Now the reason we wanted to force that encounter is because now we need to do very specific movement on the way out. And this sets up the next boss to be preempted, which means that we do double damage for the first limit. And so we need to do this on a very specific one. So from after this point, we're going to walk, not run, off this screen. Then we hold run and right, and we just hold that until Cloud stops. So he stopped, let go of everything, hold L1 and up, and we're going to walk again until Cloud stops. It's also good to have the finger on here so you can see that he stopped. Now you're going to add run and left. Once you get around this corner, change it to run and right. And just hold it, and he'll run right into the elevator. Once we get out of the elevator, you're going to hold run and left only. And once you line up with the edge of this black and yellow thing, you can talk to Jesse. So like there. Now from here, it's run and straight down. Talk to Biggs. And now you're gonna go run straight down. And there's a little railing there at the very bottom of the screen, bottom left. That's what we wanna hit. So we're just gonna go like this and just slightly nudge it with your shoulder on the way out. Again, it'll take practice. But what that does is it sets up a step ID later for apps in the sewers to be preemptive, if we did it correctly, which I'm pretty sure we did. So now we have a cutscene and some mashing to do. Well, in this case, we have a turbo, so. Now we're going to meet Aerith, and we're just going to mash straight through. We don't have to pick any specific dialogue options here. It's going to be very straightforward. When Barrett starts to run away, you know you're coming to the end of it. And so again, you'll just want to follow Barrett up and try and get in front of him if you can. I didn't there. Steps aren't live there, so if you miss the stairs, it's not the end of the world other than time loss. And so then here's Aerith. Cloud's going to walk up to her. She's going to ask what's going on. You're just going to select the first one, so just mash through. And then you're going to run out here. Now remember the potion we looked for at the end of the first fight? If you got one, you don't need this one here. If you didn't, pick this one up. We didn't, so we pick it up. Alright, with these soldiers, it's 3 sets. You're going to pick the last option every time, which is later. You do not want to fight them. So just be careful with mashing here, because you can pick the wrong options. Again, not a run killer, a time killer for sure. If you're learning how to do this and it happens, it's not the end of the world. Once he says grab him, you can stop mashing. We do a cutscene here. And we're going to get ready for Jesse's skip, which is our first paralysis dodge of the run. So paralysis dodging is when the game activates the text box, you can't move Cloud, typically. There are some instances where that's not the case, but you can force the game to let Cloud move by opening 2 text boxes on the exact same frame. So we're going to do that right now. So what happens is we're going to run in the next scene. We're going to run all the way down, and if we run too far, there'll be a guard that comes out and says, please stop making a commotion like you're bothering people. And if the game wants you to talk to Jesse to give you like a tutorial of what Midgar looks like, we're going to trigger that guard and talk to Jesse on the exact same frame. And we're going to do a tactic called menu buffering. Now, menu buffering is opening the menu, and then as the menu's closing, you hold all of the inputs. So as soon as the menu closes and you're back to controlling Cloud, the inputs just go right away. So we're going to do that in 2 instances here. So with no directions and make sure you're running, you want to line Cloud's knees up with the very bottom of the screen. If you're not sure, just edge your way forward. So about there is perfectly fine. His knees are right on the bottom line. Open the menu, and you're gonna, as it closes, you're gonna hold down, right, and hold circle. So hold down, right, and circle as the menu closes. Jesse's gonna turn and talk. The guard's gonna come out. Mash through the 3 text boxes as fast as you can. Basically, as soon as the guard leaves, you need to be on the text box that says, I always like these things, bombs, flashy stuff, you know. So like that. So there. Once you get to this, so you saw 2 text boxes open there. She turned, the guard came out. So Jesse's going to say, I like this stuff. We're not supposed to be able to move now, but we can. So we're going to leave this screen, and as it fades, we close the text box by hitting circle. And what's going to happen is Cloud is just going to miraculously have done the cutscene. If you don't get it, it's like an 18-second time loss, 12-second time loss, one of those. Once you see the white flash, run up to Barrett and mash some more. Cloud leans like to look through the window, you can stop mashing. You get a FMV. So here we're all going to exit the train. You can just hold down and run. You can buffer those now, so Cloud just runs out of the train. Not the end of the world if you don't do it, but it's optimal. It does take a while for Barrett and Cloud to get out of the train though. So now you have control, see? Barrett's going to talk, and as he runs off to the left, you want to buffer run and left as well. So you start moving. Go down a little so you don't bump into those people. And then just straight across here. There'll be a cutscene. We're going to leave this screen. So you're going to hold buffer run and right. Back in. The reason for that is there's a whole lot of dialogue and stuff you get to skip by doing that. Talk to Barrett, go into the bar, and now we meet Tifa. Tifa's you're gonna mash here until you name Tifa. Again, reduce to one character, so she just becomes T. After one more text box, you're gonna try and leave, and Barrett will run in. Once Barrett goes down, you can stop mashing, and you're also going to go down. You're going to run up to the pinball machine and just use it. Steps are not live anywhere here, by the way, so you're totally fine. Run over to Barrett, and he'll start sort of making fun of you. Steps are not live at all until sewers. So don't worry about your movement being perfect after Reactor until sewers. Once Cloud like squares up, you can run away. Tifa runs in. And then when he walks over here, it's 2 text boxes. And then just go back up the pinball machine elevator thingy. And go to try and leave. And Tifa will interrupt you and be like, how dare you? And then we have, in my opinion, the worst part for mashing in the entire run. Just because of the space, it's such a long cutscene and the spacing is so bad. You can pick anything there, it doesn't actually matter. So now we do the flashback at the well. Just enjoying the vibes at this point. And then we have our first shop coming up. Very important though, before we get to the shop, after you sleep, which will be in a couple of seconds, you'll talk to Barrett on the way out, not Tifa. Do not talk to Tifa, talk to Barrett. He's gonna ask you how to use materia. Be very careful mashing there, because if you select the thing to say that you'll teach him how to do materia, it's like a no joke 2.5 minute tutorial that you cannot skip. So it is 2.5 minutes of time loss. And at that point, just reset. Just again mashing. I'm just holding the turbo button at this point just to get through this. Once you get a feel for the cutscene of where the text boxes are and the like long pauses, like when Cloud walks around the back of the well, gets back up, that kind of thing, you can stop mashing because you know there's no dialogue boxes. But when you're first starting out, you'll just want to be mashing the whole time because you don't know. So Barrett's going to come up now and negotiate. He's going to give you some money. He's going to give you 1,500 gil. We'll put that to good use. And then negotiate the next payment for the next mission that we're actually going to skip. So we have our first shop coming up, and then we have guard skip. So guard skip I will go over very briefly. I'll put a link or send a link, whatever, if I'm giving this privately. On how to do it well. Again, run down to Barrett. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cloud does a little strut pose. Don't hit, just hit you wouldn't understand. And then she says, I'm going to. Everyone runs into Cloud and you can just leave. Come down here. The item store is this bottom door here. Once you go in, just mash circle, and you're gonna sell, go to sell, and you're gonna sell the 7 potions only. Buy 21 grenades. Leave. Okay. And then you're gonna exit the screen, and we're gonna set up for guard skip. So guard skip, from here, no up and downs, left and rights only. You need to line up Cloud's hair with the rock here, about there. Straight down, release run. Down into them with a down right, back to this way, walk this way until that, where the hat is sort of dissecting his elbow, run and down right, let go of everything, hold R1, tap left 1 time, run and down right, let go of run so he wiggles again, and now it's 3 frames, R1 and left, so 1, 2, 3. So you see that little sliver of Cloud's arm? And then run and down right again, and you're past. And that's how you do guard skip. And then just up here into Wall Market. Yay. So now we've skipped Reactor 5. The train thing, the whole plate on the way over there, Airbuster, Reactor 5, meeting Aerith, naming her, going to her house, sleeping, meeting her mom, like the whole thing, so... Aerith's now in your party. She's called Aerith if you don't do this, and she's level 1. If you meet her, her default is Eris. So it's very interesting. And when you come down here, run till you bump into this guy, then straight up. You want to basically talk to the dude in the pink blazer. Once he tells you it's in Don Corneo's, you're going to go up to Don Corneo's place, Corneo, which is all the way at the top. So you're just going to run up. If you just hold running up, you're going to get stuck like that, so just be aware. You don't want to bump into anybody if you can help it. Talk to this gentleman. And he's basically like, hey, you can't get in here because you're a dude. So Aerith comes up with the amazing idea that we're going to dress Cloud up as a chick. There is a specific skip we can do called bar skip. I'll show it off here, but don't worry about it if you can't get it. It will soft lock the game if you fail it, so just be aware. First things first, we need to get Cloud picked, so we need to do all the little side missions. So we're going to go in here first, just mash through all this. It's first option all the way through. And then you can leave. And then you're going to go into here, which is the cafe. Sit down. He's going to say what you have. Pick anything you want. Doesn't matter. Mash through until he gives you the food. Once you hear that like sizzling noise, you can stop mashing. He's going to hand it to you. Cloud's going to say, there you go. Close that text box. Cloud's going to eat it. and then pick the second option, it was all right. He's gonna give you a coupon for the pharmacy. You can leave. This, amazingly, the pharmacy is right here. Run up to the dude. Be careful to mash here. It's 3 text boxes, and you want to pick the third option, the digestive. Leave. Now go to the hotel, which is right here. Don't bump into this guy, because he'll just keep grabbing you, see? And you can't get away. So just be very careful. Give him a wide berth. Talk to this person. Don't mash, because you need to buy the one for 200 from the vending machine. Don't mash because you'll end up staying again. 1 text box and you can get out. Okay, so here you can go into the dress shop, which is here. I prefer to go into here. Talk to this dude and give him the thing from the vending machine, and he'll give you the tiara. You can go into the dress shop, but then I find that I forget to come in here, and then Cloud doesn't get picked. Once you get the tiara, you can leave and go straight into the dress shop. Talk to the chick behind the counter, and basically she's gonna say, I'm sorry, I can't make any dresses right now because my dad's at the bar. So now we're gonna do bar skip. I'm gonna show how it works. You don't, again, do not do this if you're not confident with it. There is a save point right there, so you can make a safety save for this and practice it. You're gonna go into the bar here. The dude you need to talk to is right here, but there's also a chick in the bathroom. So if you open the door, she says, hey, someone's in here, don't look. You can walk away with that text box open. So again, with the double text box glitch, we're gonna go over here and we're gonna talk to the man. So now Cloud shouldn't be able to move, but he can. While this is open, you're gonna go back up to here and just sort of walk away from the door, all the way to the door and then walk away so it closes. And now you're gonna mash, you're gonna stay here and you're gonna mash until this one, a tough looking guy like him. Run to the door and open it with circle. So she says, hey, someone's in here, don't look. You're gonna walk down to this dude in red, talk to him once, go back to her, and now you're gonna mash through until he says, give her the medicine. So you're basically having 2 conversations at once. Give her the medicine. Do not close this text box. This text box, the thanks text box, will soft lock the game. Run back down to the thing. Once you get both text boxes, you can close it. Second option, second option. Wait for both of those to populate. You'll get the sexy cologne. Do not close that text box. Just leave. And that's how you do bar skip. Again, a little complicated. It saves you about 18-20 seconds. Don't worry about it if you're brand new and don't feel confident. If you mess it up by closing the wrong text box, the game puts Cloud where he should be, but because Cloud's not where he should be, he just runs into a table. Or Aerith runs into a table, depending on which text box you closed. So now you go back to the dress shop. You talk to the man who's beating you down from the bar somehow. Try on the dress, and you realize it's not complete without a wig. So now you need to go to the gym, which is this one here, and you're going to do squats. Talk to this chick. To do squats, it is square, X, circle, in that order. Be careful mashing here. You can mash until he walks over. They're going to explain it once, twice. If you say don't have it, he'll explain it again. So you hit got it. Be careful mashing here, because if you keep mashing, you want some practice a little, it's going to make you practice. And that's 30 seconds, literally 30 seconds. So don't need to practice. As soon as you hit that, she'll say start, and it's square, X, circle. Again, not super hard. You're not mashing them. You're sort of pressing them in rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And the goal here is to get 21 squats. So homeboy over here can get 20. If you tie, you lose. If you get less than him, obviously you lose. You have to beat him. So if he goes super Chad mode, he can get 19 or 20. So I had 22, he had 18, so he actually did pretty good that round. So he can't get more than 20. So you need to get at least 21. Get the blonde wig and leave. And now you're done in Wool Market. Go back to the dress shop. Don't talk to anybody. Just run straight to the changing room. And hit yes that you're ready. Sorry, I had to take my phone out of my pocket there. So now Cloud's dressed like a girl. We can go all the way back up to the Dawn's mansion. Zara rejoins Cloud. You can leave. And you're gonna go just straight up to the mansion at the very top. Again, just make sure you get around that little obstacle. Talk to this guy, and he lets you in. Be careful mashing here as well, because if you're mashing, you'll just talk to Aerith a bunch. And she just keeps saying the same thing. It's only 2 text boxes, or 3. He walks off. Aerith says one thing. And if you keep mashing, see? So you don't want to do that. Come up these stairs and down these ones into the kinky dungeon. Just keep running, run and left. Cloud will freak out and Aerith will come and be like, okay. And start talking to Tifa. So again, now you're just mashing. See that little shiny potion looking thing next to the fire pit? You'll need to grab that. Once she says, right C, you can grab the potion and then talk to Tifa. We're about to do apps now. So you remember the steps that we did in the reactor, forcing the encounter and then the walking around? That's all going to come into play here. There is one more piece of movement to trigger preemptive apps. We'll get there. I'll explain it when we get there. Once the man comes down the stairs, the dude, hey, this guy, you can actually buffer run and right when the camera comes back here. So that as soon as you get control of Cloud, you can just leave. And it's just run and right and then into the main double doors here. Run up to Don. You can't talk to him here. So you go around to the side of the desk. And then just mash through all this. And if you did everything correctly on Wool Market, Cloud will get picked. You need him to get picked because it's faster. It says he's made his decision and he should not move. He should pick directly you. Like that. Once he starts walking away, you can stop mashing. Save your thumbs. Okay, important note here in the Don's bedroom. Once you get control of Cloud, run behind his bed, pick up the hyper. Don't get stuck here if you can help it and just talk to him. Second option, one text box, second option. You can get through that picking the other ones, but it's faster just to pick second option. Cloud reveals, oh my god, he's a man. And now they threaten to mutilate his genitalia. As you do. So you're just mashing through this whole part here. Basically, you find out that they're planning to drop the pillar on Sector 7. So we're just gonna mash through this here. As soon as he nods and says, of course, you have control of him. Mash through this, it doesn't matter which one you pick. You fall down the trapdoor regardless. Now there's a little cutscene here at HQ. So you'll match through this a little bit. And then we're going to set up the final part of movement to trigger apps to be preemptive. Here, basically the movement when we get into the sewers is you're going to hold run and down right until you bump into Tifa. Do not mash circle because you'll talk to her before you bump into her and then your whole thing's thrown off. And down right till you bump into Tifa. Talk to her. Now run and up left until he doesn't go any further. Keep holding up left but let go of run so he does like a little half step like that. Run all the way that way. Oh, sorry, to the right and then back to Aerith. May not have gotten it there because as I was slowing down my movement, my muscle memory, it like overtook. Bump into Aerith and talk to her. Oh, amazingly, he is preemptive. Okay. So, all the bars were filled. Really lucky we got that here. What you'll want to do is you'll want to go item grenade. So hold up and circle the whole time till everyone puts a grenade through. And then cloud down and circle to trigger the limit. So, like that. And now I'm holding down and circle. So the Braver's going to go off before Aerith throws her grenade. Now that's good at 482. You want 470-ish or higher. That prevents him from doing a second tidal wave and costing you like 10 seconds. Just be careful when his is thing, you gotta up and circle again to pick grenades again. Once everyone's on grenades, you can just hold circle. So you really want like strong cloud, not wimpy cloud, you know? If you got more than 470, 475, once that grenade with cloud gets put in, you can stop putting him in because he's dead now. See? You kill him before he does the second tidal wave move. Alright, steps are now live, so we've got to be very careful here. You're going to run to this ladder. And to this one. And then straight down. And you're going to wrap around here, and you're going to get an encounter there. This is another preemptive, so you can just hold run, and you can run away immediately. Jump down, and as you come down, you're going to take 6.5 walking steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a little bit. Cloud's heel didn't touch all the way down. Cut this as close as you can as well. Try and save steps wherever you can. Okay, this is it. Once you get here, you don't want to mash because you will grab the ladder from where Cloud is. So it's 3 text boxes. It's 1, 2, and then Tifa's going to look around and then close this text box and they will run back into you. Steps alive here again. So your movement needs to be relatively good. This is one of the hardest screens to get right. So this is just run and straight up. And then you're going to sort of try and cut this as close as you can. Grab that item, up here, grab this ladder. Now you can get a battle skip here, just like we did in Reactor 1. We're not going to, for the sake of the tutorial. So you just hold runaway and change. That was a pretty quick runaway where we take those into here. And you're going to grab this item here and straight up. This screen, up and R1 running, will put you directly into the train. If you're worried about steps, you can use the train again. It saves you about 8 steps. Don't hold directly like up right here because you'll run back into the train. So just do one of those. Encounter should be right there by that train track, so that's good. If you are worried about steps, you can double train. It does cost you some time. Ooh, that was bad. So I just wobbled my movement there, so we lost a couple steps. Hop into this train. Up here, and then ignore that potion there. You don't need it. Again, the only thing that's gonna happen if you're off steps is that you'll get a lobby encounter that you can't run away from in the Shinra HQ. Not the end of the world. It's just because you can't run away from it, you have to fight it. Alright, once you get here, you're in an auto-scroller. By the way, that save point there is usually right in that little space on the side of the screen. So if you want to practice guard skip, get all the way through 7th Heaven to where you do the shop, save there, and then you can just exit back to 7th Heaven screen, and then practice guard skip all day. Best way to learn it. So just mash through this, and we're gonna run up these stairs. These stairs are a nightmare. You want to try and hug the inside of the stairs. As you're going up, you can hold L1, but if you go too early on the direction change, you'll go back down the stairs, and steps are live on them, so. You want to try and hug the stairs as best as you can. And the encounter should be right here. It's a little behind because of the wobble. It should be a little bit further up. Again, not the end of the world. We'll probably get the lobby encounter. Good runaway. So just as you're coming around the corner, you're just going to keep holding L1 until here. Then you let go of L1 here, and then run to Barrett. Mash through, and you're going to fight Reno. So with Reno, you're going to use grenades the whole time. You don't want him to use his pyramid move on Cloud. That's worst RNG. If you can get Cloud to have a physical attack, you can save a grenade. There's a chance you can save a grenade. The other reason for that, so here we're going to hold up and circle because Cloud's not going to get first turn. Okay, he got Barrett, so that's fine. Now we want him to bully Cloud here. Oh no, Cloud's stunned. That's actually really bad RNG. So the reason you want Cloud not to be in the pyramid is there's a health refresh after this fight, but only for Cloud. For some reason, Tifa and Barrett don't get one. So if Cloud gets pyramided, it's obvious that. So you know this is slow because there's 2 pyramids. If you get Cloud pyramided, obviously the other 2 are the only ones available to take damage. There is a safety for that, and I'm going to do it for you. Here, talk to Tifa right after the fight, and just mash on this console until Cloud sort of takes over. Mash through this. If you mash fast enough, you get slap skip. There's a part in this cutscene where Sang runs over to Aerith and smacks her. If you mash fast enough, there's a chance it won't happen. She'll just like get hit by the force. We should get it because we're on turbo. There should be 0 reason why we don't. Okay, apparently I'm wrong. I have no idea why that didn't work, but whatever. Doesn't matter. So he ran over and smacked her. If you mash fast enough, he just looks at her, and then the snap noise goes off, and she just moves her head. All right, once you're here, don't mash, but you can control Cloud, and you want to go down to Barrett. And you want to kind of hang out to the side of him and talk to him. Talk to him once, so he runs over to that thing. And don't mash anymore, because otherwise you get stuck. Stay nearby. You don't actually need to press anything. Cloud will just jump on top if you're close enough. I use that little white section there as the guide. I line his feet up with it, so I know I'm good to go. And congratulations, you're done with the first half of the run. Near enough. So now we got some more mashing and we have Hell House Road. Hell House Road is another one of those really tricky segments where your steps are live and you can lose steps like crazy. Again, not the end of the world if you're off step. It just means, so basically if you're off steps, you get an unescapable lobby encounter of 2 guards. If you're ahead of steps or on steps, you get a sword dance encounter where you put the Midgar parts in that you can run away from. So yeah, it's the same amount of encounters, just one you can escape from and one you can't. So again, not the end of the world, not a run killer if you lose steps. I don't think I very rarely, even myself, have get to there on steps. So here we're just going to mash through this. If you want to give your thumb a break once you start shooting, you can stop mashing for a bit. He's going to fall to his knees for one more text box though, so just be aware. Fades out, and now you're mashing again. Cloud's going to be on his own for the first little part of this next screen. The next encounter is a Hell House side attack. So it's an instant runaway. You should not have any issues getting away from it. And like I said before, Cloud has a health refresh, so you will not die to it if Cloud's alone. It's, again, not the end of the world. In a perfect world, that encounter is around the first corner. We'll probably be like right on the corner for this encounter. So here you're gonna run down and you're gonna hug this side like that, if you can. And now Cloud is not alone anymore. Another screen that takes a little bit of practice. For PC, if you want to make saves, download Ochu. It's available on speedrun.com, the link to it. And just activate save anywhere, and you can practice on any screen. Yep, right on the corner, right where I thought it was going to be. So this is a side attack. So you get an instant runaway. You can come up through this basket, up here, like this, down, across this, and down like that. You can get stuck on that stupid metal bar so easily. Alright, over here to Aerith's house. And instead of going into her house right away, you're going to come up here to the garden. You're going to grab this ether. Don't worry about the materia, you don't need it. And then into the house for the second long mash. Very long mashing section here as well. So just listen to the banger of a music. You get a little break here once she walks into the screen. You actually don't have to mash for a little while here. Basically until the guard like shakes his head like no. And she sort of walks back down the stairs. You have a break until then. I'm trying to tell you where the breaks are to save your thumbs. Or fingers. I use index finger. A poor lady picks up her chubby husband, but you know, what can you do? So the guard's now going to close the door and then sort of do the nod like that at her, like, nope. And she sort of comes back towards the stairs. Now you start mashing again here. Yeah, when it flashes, I guess. Now you're mashing pretty much all the way through. I guess you have a little break here too, but whatever. So we have our second shop coming up after this. Now you have to be very careful on this second shop because you need 300 gil for the batteries, otherwise you cannot continue. Well, you can, you just have to sell a grenade. So what we're going to do is we're going to sell everything and buy 53 grenades. So if you sold all the potions and bought 21, now you sell everything except the grenades. You'll have some grenades left over. Don't sell those, obviously. Also, I should point out that it's important that the reason you sell the potions for the first shop is because they're in the first spot. And when you buy the grenades, it puts them in the first top spot. So it just makes your menuing way easier. To find the grenades, you don't have to scroll down. So you just keep mashing through this until Barrett runs away. He's gonna run upstairs because his daughter's upstairs. He thought she was dead, that's why he was like super angry a minute ago. But she's not. So right there, now you can just sort of go to leave. It's actually faster to go behind Tifa, but you can get stuck pretty easy, so I like to go around the front. Once they nod, you can stop mashing for a second, and then we're going to mash some more outside when they decide where to go. So now you're going to go to the shop, which is in this like caravan thing here, this one. Talk to this man as close to the exit as possible. Go to sell. You're going to keep the grenades, but sell everything else. Nice double input there. And you're going to buy 53. And I should leave you with 313 and 58 grenades. Because I got the physical attack on Reno, we actually saved a grenade. So we actually have 59, which is great. But you want a minimum of 58. And 313 gil. So it's very important, I guess I should have mentioned this ahead of time, but it's very important that you don't use any items unless instructed to do so. Alright, run away from this fight, obviously. Buffer the changes. He didn't get an attack off, which is good. Down here. Careful not to get stuck on the slide or the swings there. You're going to have to sort of thread the needle. Alright, don't hold up and run because you're going to bump into Homeboy here. So just give him a little bit of a wide berth, and the same with that kid. Alright, very important here, you remember to buy the batteries. So it's not in the gym, but it's in this door here. It says machine gun on it. Talk to Homeboy on the tank. Batteries, and you can leave. That's why you need 300 gil. If you don't have enough, you can't get the batteries, so you can't continue. There, you're just gonna try and get ahead of the kids. Saves you a little bit of time. If you don't, again, not the end of the world. Mash through this here. Talk to that girl in red and then mash through. And now we're going to climb up to HQ. Movement on here, again, steps are not live. Steps aren't live until the lobby of the HQ. But the movement here is very finicky. So you can jump incorrectly, which is kind of a pain. You don't need to close those text boxes, you're all good. All right, so here you're gonna go up and left, and then down, and then over here, and then straight down. You think it's like a direction, but it's straight down. Cloud's gonna put the battery in. This is why you need the battery. If you don't have the battery, you can't continue. This is gonna play out. You don't need to mash it. Just let it run. Careful on the way up here. You can jump back the wrong way. So just be careful to stay to the right side here. Climb up here, and then you're going to put another battery in here. Mind your movement because you can run right past the battery slot. Alright, up here, you're basically going to go when you hear the squeak. Right after you hear the squeak. You hear the squeak, and it's close to you, hit circle. If you miss, you fall down, just climb up, try it again. It takes a little bit of practice, but the audio cue is basically what you're looking for. Okay, up here. Do not go down there to get the item. You're not going to worry about it. You're going to come over here and then up. And now we're in HQ. Now we're at the halfway point. And now we have the dreaded elevator. RNG elevator. There is elevator manip. You can do it. It is very complicated. I don't know how. There are guides being worked on for it. It's a whole thing of spreadsheets and RNG. So we're not going to do that for this, obviously, because I don't know how to do it. And it's definitely not a beginner thing. You're going to run over here. You're going to mash through this. And we're going to basically run into the front door here of HQ. But before we do that, we have to do a menu. So go in here, config, ATB wait, order, Tifa and Barrett to the back row. If Tifa and Barrett are low health, you can put restore on Tifa and then use magic to heal her up. And then just run in. You don't have to do that to heal her up. It is a safety strat if you are a little worried about the health. I wasn't, but just to show it off, you can do it. Alright, so here you're going to hold up and circle because it's grenades. 2 of them, and then hold on the 3rd one. Don't put it in. This is called weight tricking. It didn't work because he got his turn off, but if he had a low ATB, we would have got both our turns off before he had a turn. You got a grenade back for your troubles. That's great. Sometimes you don't. Alright. Make it through the lobby here. We're probably going to get the encounter. Yep. Unfortunately, that little wobble cost me. So you can't escape this. So it's just... There's no way, because the ATB was so bad that he's not going to get a turn. So whatever. Alright. So now you're going to be in the elevator. The elevator is purely RNG, unless you're manipulating it. Wow, another grenade back. Must be my birthday. Okay, so use the elevator. And you're looking for how many encounters you're going to get. 3 is great, 4 is... 5 and 6 is terrible. It all depends on what you get based on the number you stop the elevator on. So there's few fights you can get, and depending on what you get, you're going to use grenades and a combination of attacks or magic. 14 is really bad, just because it's a low roll. So 3 of these, you're just going to grenade each one. If you get the big red dudes, it's 2 grenades each. The little sword dancers, like the fish, take 1 grenade and 1 physical attack. The guy who's got the little, like, gavel is 1 bolt, 1 attack, no grenades. 27. So basically you're looking for 29, 38, Another 3. Okay, that's weird. Anything where the two numbers add up to 11 is a manager, which means the doors will open and a man will be there and he'll be like, oh, I'm not getting on, and he'll leave, and you basically get out of it without an encounter. That's basically what you want. Elevator manip gives you only managers all the way up. Wow, we're gonna have a 5 encounter elevator, so we're already at 3. Okay, so this guy is great because we don't need anything, so it's a bolt and a regular attack. Tifa has a limit, so she doesn't have an attack option. You can do a, you can do the limit, it's just slower. I like those. Basically, you need 48 grenades by the time you get to the top. Minimum. We have 51 right now, I think. 45. It's gonna give me a 6 encounter elevator. This guy, we can do a limit and a bolt. He does have a chance to miss magic here. So you basically save the grenades where you can get them. You can use limits in place of grenades. 56, give me a manager. So 14, 27 there. So this was 5 encounters. This is actually pretty bad. Doesn't matter though. Okay. Once you get to floor 59, steps are not live on the next screen until after the guard fight. So you want to get to 59 as fast as possible, basically. So for this, you can run around here, no problem. Steps are not live until after the fight. So run down here to the bench, come down here, and you'll basically want to be right on this bottom guard, like that. Because you want to save as many steps as you can. If you run directly at them, you have a longer distance to the elevator door. So I'm weight tricking here to see who goes. Is no one going? Oh, he's going now, okay. I'm holding the inputs, so I can try and get the input in before they get a turn. Be careful not to mash here because you get the first key card. Be careful not to mash here because you don't want to go down to floor 1. You want to pick 60 and then wait till Tifa and Barrett come out and you'll talk to each one of them twice. Or once, sorry, 1, 2. Now we're at guards. This room sucks. It has killed so many of my runs, it's not even funny. So you have to sneak past the guards without being seen. I'm gonna do this slowly. So basically, you hide behind these yellow things. And you signal your friends. So you have to wait until the guards move. However, they don't move at the same time. One guard will always move before the other by like a fraction, which really sucks because you can get faked out. But basically, don't get caught because you don't have the grenades nor the time. I went big balls there. No, I mashed and it wasn't enough. So then this happens. If you get caught, this is what happens, which is totally fine because we're not actually doing anything, but this is good to show what happens. Use the limits. How many grenades do I have? 45. I'm just trying to save grenades here. If you get caught, it is a minute time loss. So you don't want this to happen. So now you're all the way back over here getting berated at by Barrett. So just make your way across. Be careful. Don't be overzealous like I was. Get yourself across safely. That was actually very close. Don't mash, because it does take those inputs. There I mashed because they were both over there, but you know what I'm saying. Okay. Alright, so out of habit I turned off my pointer because it's easier for me to see it without the pointer. Talk to this man here, second option. And he gives you the key card. Alright, this screen is a puzzle. You don't have to get this right on the first time, however it is faster. There is an IGT minute for it, I just don't use it. This room with the green bookshelves, you want to inspect right here. The first word determines what it is. So you have results. Results is king, economic is best, breakdown is bomb, and new is Mako. So this is results. So results is king. So talk to the mayor. Got it. Then tell me it should be king. So it's best king. It's never orbs. It's never Hojo. So it's king. If you get it right, you get elemental materia, and it's faster than guessing twice. Whoops. And you're good to go. If you don't get it, it's okay. Now you're gonna don't mash again all the way to 65. So economic, best, results, king, breakdown, bomb, new, Mako. Alright, steps alive here. This chest will always be first. Go into this room here and place the part in the very bottom, like 6 o'clock position. This one here. Now you can do them in the chests in any order. I like to do them room by room. So I do the top room first, then I do the bottom room. You can do them in any order, it doesn't matter. Steps are live here, so you do need to be careful. Lots of diagonals. Try and really squeeze the steps. This is very boring, but because steps are live, you have to pay attention here. I hate this room. Not for any reason other than it's tedious. So you'll notice that we did 4 and there's still 1 missing. The one that's missing is around the thing here. Get an encounter right about here. Nice fast runaway. In this room here. I always do that one last just because it's so far out of the way. Into here. And then put in the last piece. And then you're going to make sure to grab this chest here. If you try and go on without opening the chest, you won't be able to get out. Come down here. And you're going to go straight to the bathroom. You can flush for good luck if you want. And then just hold down. Mash through this cutscene. If anybody wants to see me run this, I'm going to shamelessly plug at this point. You can catch me at twitch.tv/Busutai, and Mondays and Wednesdays is my stream times, and sometimes Fridays. So typically running FF7, but sometimes we play other stuff too. So here you're just still mashing and hold up on the D-pad. It's counterintuitive. You're going to think it's down because it's cloud's going to be going backwards, but it's actually up. If you hold down, you go back into this screen here, looking down on the conference room. Which is a little bit of time loss, but it's not, again, not a big deal. All right, once you're done here, you're going to run all the way back around to where you just were. Out the bathroom and down and around. And Cloud's going to get stopped here because of Hojo. Clear the text box as fast as you can because Hojo won't move until it's cleared. These two NPCs are a nightmare. If Karen over here decides to go up, you got to run past her as fast as you can. Otherwise, you'll get stuck on her and you won't be able to run at full speed. You'll be like stutter stepping all the way. So that's why it's important to close that text box as fast as possible so you can get ahead of her. If the man and the woman both head up and you get behind them, it's over. Like, nothing you can do about it. You just got to eat that time loss. Mash through these boxes and come down here. Amazingly, steps are actually live right now on this screen, so just be careful on your movement. Hug the walls as close as you can. Cloud's not going to proceed in the worst hiding spot ever. Again, there it's forgivable. However, it's not forgivable on the way back. There's no way that man didn't see him. And there's also no way that Hojo didn't see him. Right there. No way. Here's your first look at Red 13. The only character we're actually not going to rename. Aerith didn't get renamed either, but let me just make sure of something real quick. Get my IGTs. I'm gonna scroll these down because I'm gonna be behind IGTs for sure because of the explaining. So that's Genova. Don't worry, we're not going to see her in this run. The next boss that we have is Sample. We're going to do weight tricking on Sample. Again, don't worry about it for new runners. Basically, we want to put 2 commands in as fast as we possibly can. And then we're going to hold the third attack until the second one's gone off. So basically what that does is it makes so that 2 characters are getting ATB fill as fast as, you know, all times. So we can sort of get more turns in Sample is the idea. So we're going to grenade with everybody. Red 13 is going to do 1 fire. He has fire and all. So when you select fire, it's going to want to attack all the enemies. Press L1 once to make it a single and then target Sample. Sample's always in the back row. So just be very careful before putting in a command that your arrow is actually on Sample and not one of the dudes in the front. You need 42 grenades minimum by this fight. 42. Should have 42. Mash through all this, by the way. We're gonna get a chance to rename Red. We're not going to rename Red. Also, it's going to ask you to pick someone to go take Aerith. I always pick Tifa. So red, just start and confirm. Add ATB to start, but whatever. So I have 44 grenades, so we're good. So I put in those two commands, and so now I'm holding. So we're on wait. So those two commands are going to go in right now. And now I'm going to put in clouds. So those two are going up. Now we're going to put them in one at a time. So we're holding until Barrett's thrown his. And he steps back. Cloud steps back. We put in the next one. This limits the number of turns that Sample gets. There you go. I'm dead. Really easy fight. Once this is all done, once this cutscene's all done, we're going to do a menu again. We're going to put the ATV back to active, and we're going to put Cloud and Red in the back row. Just mash through this, it doesn't matter. Screen will fade out. Config, active, order, back row, back row. We will be getting an encounter on the way back. Again, steps are live about here. One of these guys, just run. Just run. You don't have to worry about it, just run. Wow, we really are all gonna change and not run away. Slow runaway there. Oh well, what can you do? And you're gonna run all the way back down to floor 66, the elevators. Try and use the elevator panel and the Turks will show up. And it was a trap all along. Gonna mash through this now. Until we get to the jail scene. Once we're at the jail scene, we'll do some more mashing in a specific order. There is a lot of like really technical stuff coming up after this. I'll explain it as best as I can when we get there. But basically we're going to be setting up for all the skips and warps to the end of the game after we leave Midgar. Again, we're just mashing through this here. Once the president says, if you need anything else, talk to my secretary, like once Barrett gets dragged off, you can buffer up and run. You can close the text box here once the screen starts fading out. Hold up and run. Don't mash though, because you're going to get 3 options. So up and run. I wonder how Aerith is doing. Then position yourself back to the middle of the room and mash. If you do the other ones, it gives you very long cutscenes that you have to mash through, and it won't progress the story. Only Aerith will progress the story. So Aerith now will sort of talk about, you know, the whole thing about being an ancient and how they're going on a date and all this other stuff that we agreed to, but we didn't actually see that we agreed to because we skipped it. Once Aerith sits on the bed, it's 3 text boxes, and then you can run up to the door again. So just count them when she sits on the bed. Not Tifa, when Aerith goes back on the bed. So she's back on. 1, 2, 3, and you can just run back up. And because you have memory, you can just mash, and you'll go right back to we should get some sleep. because the cursor will already be there for you. You don't need to scroll down. All right, there is a skip you can do here. It saves about 5 seconds. We're not going to do it. Basically, the door is open now and the guard is dead. Run to the guard and then run back to Tifa. Don't mash on the guard because Cloud will just keep bending down and saying what happened. Cloud is stuck here until Tifa stops moving. Go talk to Tifa. Get the key. And then go open the door to Barrett and Red. This door is a bit of a troll. You can get stuck on it really easily, so just be aware. Like that. Talk to Barrett. Once he turns around, one text box, talk to Tifa. Steps are live now for the rest of this HQ, so just be careful. You'll get one encounter here. It's a preemptive, so you can just run away instantly. If you're really good on steps, you can get that in the next area, but it's okay. Alright, down here. I like to hug this wall here. Saves a couple more steps. You don't need to talk to Red here. And then you're going upstairs. And now you're going to go above the door like that. It's actually faster. Get another encounter. It should be a dog and a carrot looking thing. That's how you know you're good on steps. That's it for the random encounters, other than the forced ones. So if you did that, you've done steps. Congratulations. There are no more random encounters, except for world map encounters. And those are pure RNG, not based on steps. They're based on in-game time, actually, of all things. Which is why we have the manip sheet. So just mash through all this. Once the helicopter arrives, you can buffer up and run. Just run straight out this door. It looks like you're not going to make it, but you will. So now you're just mashing through this. Till the next boss fight, which is the Heli-Gunner boss fight in the elevator. That one, you're going to just grenade it. Nothing else. You can use limits if you're worried about grenades. If you feel like you've used too many grenades, or you're low on grenades in general. However, it is about a 2 to 3 second time loss per limit you do. Right here, Aerith's gonna say we should check our stuff. So it's one text box, and then it's leave it. Do not remove it. Leave it. Into this elevator and use the control, and you get an encounter, which is actually a boss. So again, you can use limits here if you want to save the grenades. In a perfect world, you leave this fight with 18 grenades. Obviously don't use Aerith's limit unless you're like super low on health. Barrett gets his limit, I will use it. But just keep an eye on your grenade count. You should have 18 leaving this fight. Ding. So I'm just holding circle the whole time here. Once this part dies, the next part shows up. You pray for no sleeps, just because, you know, then you don't get the turns to throw the grenades, so you lose time. Go. I put in the limit, so it'll go right away. This boss will get first turn. He always does. If you do... So now you're hoping you don't get slept. Good. If you do use a limit, make sure that you go back to item and use grenade and not just hold circle. Otherwise, you're going to just regular attack. Which is not the end of the world for Barrett, because he can shoot it, but Red and Aerith can't. At 20. No sleeping though. So this is actually pretty good RNG. Alright, good. Once he starts spinning, it's 2 more grenades and he's done. So I have those commands put in. I'm not going to put any more in. I have 19 grenades. 18 grenades. So that's perfect. That worked out great. Once this fight's done, you're going to mash circle and then mash start because you need to start this next part. And it's not circle, it's start. So Rufus is going to be here with Dark Nation, the dog. The dog has 140 health. Use a grenade on it and pray you don't under damage. He laughed. If you had a braver there, you could chance it. So the dog wouldn't get the turn to put the barrier up. Not the end of the world. 146 will do me very nicely. If you get 139, you gotta grenade it again. Now it's 4 grenades on Rufus. Again, you can braver, but we're not doing huge damage here with the grenades. We didn't even get a limit, so whatever. 4 grenades is faster if you have them to spare. Right, so now we're exiting HQ. So now just run Cloud back to Tifa. Try and run Aerith to the exit. And now just mash through to the FMV. And then we're on the bike game. And then Motorball. Motorball, you have to do a very specific turn order. And hope that you don't over damage. It's very dicey. Once you hear that music, you can stop mashing because it's an FMV. So the bike game, you'll basically want to keep mashing circle or square. The idea is to get 3 red bikes. The behavior of the bikes is that such that blue and orange will always go for the attack. If you're attacking, red will hang back. And only 3 enemy bikes will spawn. So if you get a red bike and you keep spamming your attack, it'll always stay back and it won't attack you. So if you get 3 red bikes and keep spamming the attack, they'll never move up. And you can just mash all the way to the end. This is a scripted fight. It is always the same length of time. Just mash start here. So let's see what we get. We should get, hopefully, red bikes. There's 1 red bike. 2 red bikes. Can I get a 3rd one right away? So you see how they're just sitting back. They're not actually attacking. There you go. 3 red bikes. That's beautiful. So now I don't press anything. I'm just holding the confirm button, the attack button. I'm just holding it on turbo. Because I'm attacking, they will hang back. As soon as I stop attacking, they'll move up. See? Like that. So you don't give them that opportunity. You just keep attacking. And we're chilling now. Alright, so Motorball, now would be a good time to talk about it. So Motorball, we need to do a specific turn order, and that turn order is Cloud, Tifa, Barrett. Cloud is going to bolt, Tifa's going to grenade, Barrett's going to grenade. We're going to count how many bolts we enter, because we want to stop putting commands in after Cloud's 5th bolt. And the reason for that is that we can trick the AI of Motorball to not do his fire attack again, which is huge damage and can KO your party and it game over you. So by doing this specific turn order, it's consistent every time. Cloud needs to be doing 200 to 220 damage with his bolts. If he's rolling 232, 234, you're over damaging and the AI won't be tricked. So you'll need to switch to ice after the 3rd bolt or so. And then there's a chance you under damage, so it's a bit dicey if Cloud decides to go kind of, you know, buff on you here. So we'll see what happens. Typically, you have to press triangle to switch the turn order. Tifa probably will get a limit here, so. Because he's going to hit everybody, so Tifa's going to get a limit, so just be careful. Oh, they both did, so. Alright, so that was 1, and we're in the correct turn order. So 216 is fine, so it's 1 bolt, 2 bolts. The other thing too is arm attack here. He can do it once or twice. It's bad RNG if he does it twice. Good RNG if he does it once. He did it once each time, so that's very good. 218 is still good. So that was 2 bolts. That's the 3rd bolt. I count them as they get put in, not when they get cast. So he's going to crouch down and do a fire attack, which is totally fine. So that's the 3rd one going off now. Still fine. Here's number 4. Okay, and so here comes number 5. So now it's number 5. So now you let go of everything. You're going to hold Tifa's grenade but not put it in until he stands up. Once he does the animation of standing up, you can put it through. And if done correctly, he won't crouch back down. He'll just stay standing up and Tifa will throw the grenade. And that's how you know you've skipped the fire attack turn. This should kill. You can queue up a limit here if you're worried about under damaging, but that was right on average. 218s, 216s, 220. So I wasn't too concerned. Now here's the nitty-gritty stuff. We need to do the Barrett skip, which is another paralysis dodge. We have to get this, otherwise the run will not work later on. On the next screen to do it, when Cloud finishes climbing down the rope, run left, bump into Tifa twice, and you're going to run down to Barrett. There's a little like black squiggle in front of him. When you get there, press circle. If done correctly, you'll get a glitched text box. Like that little squiggle there in front of his foot. So bump into her. Okay, so that's the glitch text box we're looking for. Either that one or a big one. Here, you're going to close this one. You can't see it, but hit down to select it. Second option. and then second option again. Once he starts punching, you can just leave. That's Barrett skip. You have to do that. If you let that scene play out, the run is over. If you fail it, instead of saying let's go, hit just let's stay here for a while and reline yourself up to try and trigger it. Okay, from here, we're running straight to the Chocobo farm. However, we are going to heal up Barrett and Tifa only. We need Cloud to actually die for the run. And we don't need him dead yet, but we will need him dead by a certain point in a couple minutes. So you're ignoring Calm. You're just going to run all the way to the Chocobo farm. Yep, perfect. Keep hitting Cloud. That's fine. We need Cloud to die here. So average is 2 encounters, 3 encounters is bad, 1 is amazing. Love Cloud right now. It's good news. So you're gonna run right to the farm. Instead of going in like an idiot, save outside. You're gonna save 1, slot 3. You're gonna need that later. You can run to the farm and then run out and save again if you want. It's a little bit of a time loss. Okay, run into the barn and talk to Choco Billy. Say, give me one. And he's like, nope. Do you want to know how to catch Chocobo? Not interested. Buy the Chocobo lure. Buy it. And then buy greens. I like to buy 2 just to be safe. And leave. Get to the edge of the screen. About there. Config. Wait. Materia Barrett. Put on Chocobo lure. And now we're going to exit the screen on the IGT for Chocobo. Oh man, we were really late because of this. So I have a sheet here. So 138.29 is what we're looking for. When we leave, we're going to keep holding right and then add R1. So we're going to exit on 28. Oops. I think I stopped. This may not actually work. That's fine. Doesn't matter. You need to keep moving the whole time. If done correctly, it'll be a Chocobo and 2 grasses, which it is. So that's fine. Okay, this is why we need the greens. We need to kill Cloud. At this fight, we need to kill Cloud. So, we're gonna use the greens. We're gonna grenade the grass. Cloud's gonna ice himself. And Barrett's just gonna big shot the grass. So Cloud needs to die here for a strat later on. He doesn't have to die here. He can die later, but you have to force an extra encounter. Okay. Now here's where we get tricky. Put the camera back this way. And we're gonna do a thing called a Chocolom glitch. And what's gonna happen is, when we're on this side of the marsh, there's a flag that if you get off the Chocobo, usually it runs away. But the game developers were like, wait, what if someone doesn't listen and heads over here and they get stuck on this side of the marsh and they can't get past the snake? They're gonna be stuck. So they put a flag on it so the Chocobo will stay where it's at. On this side of the marsh. We're going to abuse that because when you enter an encounter with the Zolom, which is the snake, the game will put you back on whichever side of the marsh you touched last. So to get the flag to dismount the Chocobo and be put on the side that we need to be put on, we're going to trigger the fight of the Zolom on the exact same frame that we're up on this side of the grass. It's very precise. Of course, you can make safety saves because you have a world map. You can save anywhere. So you're going to touch this side, anywhere on this side of the grass. And you're going to head over here, and we're going to basically You want that kind of look there. I was a little off. That's what you want. You want the Chocobo and the snake to touch your Chocobo like that. And what's going to happen is the fight will happen, but the game's going to think you're on this side of the marsh and put you on this side. If you fail it, just run over here, touch the grass again. This is the hardest part of the run by far. So just come over here and wait. And then just, ooh, I was a little early there, a little overzealous. So again, just run back over here and touch it. Ooh, not far enough. So I'm still in the marsh. So that's not gonna work. So again, if you fail it, just run away. It's gonna put us over here. If I dismount the Chocobo now, it's gonna run away. So we don't want that to happen. Like that. So I was up on the grass. I was up on the grass and we got the encounter. So that's exactly what you want. So you're just defending here, by the way. If you get in an encounter with the snake, you're always defending. Always. Because if it kills you all, you're all dead. Okay. So now, if I get off the Chocobo, the flag that makes the game think I'm on the other side of the marsh is still active. So, just for safety. Not that I need it. So now I can get off the Chocobo on this side. So we've glitched the Chocobo. Okay. Now we need to do what's called the solo cloud escape. So you remember the Barrett skip we just did? We need to go do that again. Except we're going to leave the scene on the exact same frame that we're supposed to make a party. There's a line of code that clears your party before it makes you pick a new party. So we're going to park the Chocobo here and go into Midgar. And it's going to look really weird because Cloud's going to be where he spawns, but the scene that we left, because it never finished, is going to continue playing. So the Cloud's going to magically float up to the chain now. And now you can't do the bonk strat. So you kind of just have to eyeball it with... See, I missed it there. So you just say, let's stay here for a while. Whoops, and that was too early. So you can pick whatever there, doesn't matter. That's the other way. You get a big text box, you know you got it. So we hit let's go. I don't know. And now once you see the thing again, you can move. So what's going to happen now is you're going to walk directly right until you line up with Red 13's paw. And there's just a tiniest bit of space between his paw and Cloud's hand. Like there. Run and up until you bump into Red 13. Let go of everything, and now walk right again. And there'll be a little black piece right above his shoulder here. You want that to be almost completely gone. Like there. It's still just a little bit left of it. And now you can mash through here. Now, be careful not to mash too far. Barrett's going to sit down. Do not close the text box when he sits down. Do not close this text box here. We're going to menu. And remember the menu buffer we did at Jesse Skip? Same exact thing. We're gonna hold menu and circle and down. We're gonna walk out. I think. Now I'm talking through it, and now my brain is completely fried. Oh, you're gonna hold circle as well. Sorry, you're gonna hook down and circle while closing the menu, so it closes the text box and Cloud walks at the same time. Okay. Sorry, I'm not... There you go. My brain got cross-wired. So you close the menu, hold circle, and walk down. If done correctly, Cloud will be on his own, and he'll be dead. So if we get an encounter, it's instant game over. Save here as a safety. Any slot doesn't matter. And now we're going to do OG calm skip. Sorry, that wasn't clear with the solo cloud, but you're going to close the menu, hold down and confirm at the same time. So as it's closing, you're holding down and confirm. So it closes the text block and you walk all the way out. If done correctly, you'll get solo cloud dead. If done incorrectly and you went too early, you'll have a full party. If you went too late, that's the worst possible. You have to pick a party and it's over. You have to reload a save. All right, calm skip 1.0. Come down here, scrape against this cliff, and then make it so your Chocobo bonks and goes up a little bit and dismount. If the Chocobo is facing 45 degrees, you're correct. Hop back on the Chocobo, go straight up the beach. Once you get to the top of the beach, like about there, go across. So this is just right. I'm only holding right. You're gonna go past calm to that little outcrop here, where it like does one of these deals. Then just go left. You'll go under calm. Again, just holding left, not holding any other directions. Once you get to the green here, you can start coming back down. You can scrape this again if you want. And now cloud, we're gonna bonk them again. I'm a little bit worried about that, so I'm gonna just do that again real quick. So cloud will fall down into the ground. Now it's down right until cloud, you see cloud and then just down. So you see him? That's it. Once you get here, you're good. Now, open the menu and you're gonna save for your encounter 65. So you're gonna use your IGT, and when it hits the time listed, you're gonna mash circle like a mad person and save on slot 1. So we're at 147, so 147.23. Hope that was right. Okay. There's also a direction listed on the sheet. It's either left or right or up and down. Those are the directions you have to press when you load in. We're gonna Alt F4 the game and load it back up. Remember that save we made at the very beginning of this video in Reactor? That save. And we're gonna get an encounter here and we're gonna die on purpose. So now we're gonna kill ourselves. Obviously we want to kill off Barrett as fast as we can, because he has the slowest time to kill himself. If they could stop bullying Cloud until I get some damage, that would be great. So we're gonna purposely suicide here. Bye, Barrett. Oh no, we game overed. Not a problem. So after you've died, you're going to load into the slot 1 that we just made when we did calm skip. So I know that it was an up and down movement. So you have to do up and down on the keyboard, because you can't put them in on the controller at the same time. So I'm going to load slot 1 and I'm going to hold down. And then I'm going to add up. And then add down. And add up. So then Cloud does this funky little walk. We're looking for a specific encounter. It's called encounter 65. It's 1 flying harrier and 2 little grass, like chompy boys. Basically the camera is like an overhead thing if we've done it right, like that. So that's perfect. 2 of those and a harrier, that's encounter 65. Cloud's dead, so we game overed. Oh well, what a shame. So now we're gonna load slot 3. This is where it's very confusing. We're gonna load slot 3 and we're gonna run into the Zolom on purpose. Now because we died in the reactor and got the encounter 65, the timer from the reactor will be there and it'll be at 0 because we're not supposed to have it. So the game doesn't know what to do now. So it just warps us back to the reactor like because that's where it thinks we should be. This box here, it usually says like game over or whatever because you've run out of time, but it's not here anymore because the game's really confused. So we're going to close that box and we're going to save. We're going to save, and you see at the bottom it says grasslands area. So the game has no idea where we are. It thinks that we're supposed to be in the reactor, but it thinks that we're in where the Zolan was. So we're going to save. We're going to save on slot 1. We're going to quit the game again by Alt F4 and load it back up. And now because in Counter 65, the way the game works is battle IDs and field IDs. In Counter 65 is a battle ID 65. The only other place that has a 65 field encounter is the debug room. So we're going to load that up and we're going to be in the debug room. I realize my mouse is on screen. Be very careful here. It's run and down. And then you're going to run and talk to Cowboy Tifa. LAS 4-0, hold R1 and select it. Don't hold R1 while talking to Tifa. Open the menu talking to Tifa first, then R1 before you select LAS 61. Now we've warped to the end of the game. This is after Safer Sephiroth's been killed. And the gang's like, all right, it's up to the planet now, we're done. So now what's going to happen is we're going to get that final cutscene of Cloud getting thrown back down to fight the real Sephiroth. But the cutscene that plays, because the game still thinks we're on disc 1 and has no clue, is going to show the airbuster explosion there. And now we're fighting Sephiroth. You can Braver here if you want to, but it's faster to counterattack. Braver swag for your first run, or if it's just a run that's not going to PB. And time will be on the final damage on Sephiroth. If you don't do anything, Cloud will counterattack, and time is there. And that's it. That's how you do it. So using the warps is very tricky. Real quick, burn it back, do Barrett skip, go straight to the farm, save slot 3. Get a Chocobo, kill Cloud, make sure Cloud is dead. Do the Chocolum glitch, which is when you fight the snake on that perfect frame where you're half on in the swamp and half on the mine side. Go park over at Midgar and do the solo Cloud, which is when I lined up with Red 13's foot. Save for safety. Do the calm skip. Do your IGT manip for Encounter 65. Quit. Load the game. Load slot 2. The reactor, the one you made at the very beginning of your run. Die on purpose. Do not Alt F4 after that. Load slot 1, which is Encounter 65, and do the movement it says on the sheet, either up and down or left and right. Get the encounter. Go back to the main menu. Load slot 3. Fight the snake on purpose, and you'll warp to the reactor. Save the game in the reactor on slot 1, Alt F4, load slot 1, debug room to Sephiroth, and that's it. That's how you beat the game. And that is how you run PC Any %. Now there are other strategies and other things that we can do. You can do better naming skip and all these other different things, elevator manip that I didn't go over. This was a very basic tutorial for beginners. If you have any questions about the run at all, please feel free to DM me on Discord or come into the stream or whatever you want to do to ask your questions, and I'll do my best to help. Again, if this ends up on YouTube, which it may, if you're watching on YouTube, it made it, check the description for a whole bunch of links to other people's guides. I'm going to click out of this so I can talk. Other guides, other strats, and all the resources you need on speedrun.com. So thank you for watching how to speedrun PC Any % FF7. And good luck on your runs. And I hope the RNG is good to you. Much love. Take care. See you when I'm on Twitch. Bye-bye.